Hello, I hope you're all doing well. Welcome back to the Esports Rewind podcast. My name is Jake.
I'm Xan.
And I hope you guys are all doing well. If you guys are new to the show, well, welcome. Here's where we talk about every week. We talk about the newest, the hottest, and of course the latest esports news out there. We recap it into a tiny podcast setting. And Xan, I'm excited to announce we've been hitting achievements with each and every podcast.
Yeah,
do you want to know which one we broke the last one?
Lay it on me.
Our first podcast to break triple-digit likes, 100 likes
hey,
on that. So as always,
let's go.
Right there. Thank you all very much. You know,
Much
episode
love.
2, we asked for dislikes. Episode 3, we kind of asked for likes.
Yeah.
We're not going to ask for anything this episode, but thank you all so much for being here. And you want to get into it?
Yeah, let's jump into it.
Let's do it.
So I'll start things off this week. First time ever.
First time?
Yeah. I don't know if I'm ready, but we'll give it a go, okay? So I don't know if you saw this Kotaku article. They actually put it out, I believe, last week on the esports industry.
They put a lot of esports stuff out. So
Okay, yeah.
Are
yeah.
you keeping
Okay, yeah. No, this one was very specific because, you know, Kotaku, most of their articles are pretty light. Like, you know.
But some are like really extensive.
Yeah,
I don't think I've read any this week, so this would be a surprise.
This one is like huge. Like, really, if you want to read it, you better be prepared to set aside like a good 30 to 40 minutes.
I feel like you keep on leading me on. Like, so, you ever heard of Kotaku? You ever heard of esports? I read an article this week. Just get me with it.
Okay.
So what's it about?
Basically, I'm gonna read you a quote. That's gonna set it. This is kind of where the thesis of the article comes into play, I believe. This is from Frank Fields. He is the sponsorship manager for Corsair.
Okay.
Yeah. And he says, I feel like esports is almost running a Ponzi scheme at this point.
So, wait. Like, so how high up is he in Corsair?
He's the manager of their sponsorships.
So he manages Corsair. If you guys don't know Corsair, what would you call them, classify them? Electronics company?
Yeah, I'd say they're like an electronic accessory company.
And pretty well known. I'm sure you guys know. So this guy, definitely. You could say fairly high up. Mm-hmm. He's in a position of power.
Like Frank Fields has been in the gaming and esports industry for like decades.
Did he expand on this during the article?
Yeah. There's plenty more. It's like the whole article is basically about how esports is kind of in a bubble that's about to burst at the moment.
Oh no, Xan, the problem is when you read that blanket quote, the problem is I can totally see where this would be a possibility. And I don't know if I want to get too much into it, but unless you want to, of course, when the article goes into detail about.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to read the article, I recommend you do. It's a really good read, but it's just like long. I'm not even going to talk about like probably 3/4 of it. Okay. Because there's too much to go into, right? But basically, the general perception, right? Because this reporter interviewed several team people, like managers, and a lot of people who wanted to remain anonymous for certain reasons.
Yeah. Oh no! You hate when they remain anonymous because you know they're in the industry. Oh.
Yeah, but like the anonymous quotes are so like they're like so like. I don't even know. Okay, I'm just gonna read you.
Read me a few of them. Let me just
a couple choice.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So at one point they interviewed a Riot employee on whether or not the LCS makes any money, right?
Oh gosh.
And the employee's response was they laughed, and they said their current goal was to prevent the series from losing money indefinitely.
Okay. Well, I have heard that. I've heard about that before, but I will say to combat that a little bit, I've heard skepticism about the LCS and Riot's leagues making money, but I will say I think they just renewed one of their sponsorships.
Right.
So I think they are trying to target this actually bounced. We'll bring this back up later as well. I know Riot and League are doing more things to try and make money, which would make sense as to that point of them. They are trying to like hang on.
There's so much in here. Like
give us one more.
Okay. One more. Gotta pick and choose a good one, right? This is from a Newzoo analyst. Newzoo is an analytics firm for I think they do gaming and video games, like esports and stuff specifically, right? And take this with a grain of salt because Newzoo is one of the types of places that they do a lot of predictive measurements. Like to forecast, like, this is how we can expect an industry to perform in the future.
Okay.
Right. And one of their analysts with access to the revenue for 14 esports teams because these teams will like send in their revenue to have it like analyzed, right?
Yeah, of course.
And
oh no.
Yeah, they were kind of vague about several of their statements for good reason, right? There's NDAs involved, I'm sure, right?
Yeah, for sure.
But when they were pressured to ask, like to respond to how many teams they thought were operating like at a loss, like at a complete like revenue loss year after year, they said the number is much closer to 89% than to 50%.
What kind of response is that?
That's like a super vague, it's a lot of people losing money.
Super weird way to say, yeah, a lot of teams are, no.
It's such like a, let me cover my own back, let me protect myself by not saying it's most of them, but it's most of them.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, hopefully, maybe we'll expand on this for an individual video, maybe not for the podcast, but okay, so pretty much a TLDR is Kotaku has had now several sources come out and say that we might be in a bubble for esports, and there might be a point in time sometime soon, which I've heard about before, where this money that is currently involved, it might go elsewhere. And
the money's circulating in, but not a lot of it's making its way out.
Yeah, so like we're bringing in a lot of money, but we're not making a lot of money as an esports industry, which is terrifying to think about.
Yeah, it's weird.
Our job. No, we're fine.
Yeah, we're good. We're good. See, the problem is, according to this article, in large part, it's due to player salaries. And we don't get player salaries.
Yeah,
so
which is, again, I don't want to go off on a tangent because I could talk about that.
Yeah,
We've
definitely.
heard so many things about that. So, okay, esports might be in a bubble. Great start, Xan. Making me feel terrified.
Solid. You know what? It's good to keep you on your toes at the beginning, right? And then we can slowly ramp down from there. You know, get the adrenaline pumping.
Happier news next.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, Xan, I told you I had happier news. I don't have happier news because I want to get this one out of the way.
Okay.
I had someone on Twitter call me a vulture earlier this week because I wait for news pieces like this, which is not true. I'm talking about FaZe and their underage signing.
Ooh, H1ghSky. Let's go.
Our guy.
Yeah.
Well, he's not our guy. He's not.
Yeah.
I was going to say our kid, but that... Anyway,
the kid, the kid in esports at the moment, like capital K kid, unfortunately.
So if you guys somehow did not know the details about this, he was signed with FaZe Clan, one of the youngest signings of all time in esports. They said he was 13. Now facts have come out that he's currently 12. At the point of signing, though, evidence points to he was 11 years old. Now, why it's a big problem is because it's against YouTube streaming policies. More importantly, it's against Twitch TOS, and he's been streaming there for quite some time. And very lastly, you cannot compete in any Fortnite sanctioned event unless you are 13 years old. And so for me, I'm not even sure where I want to go with this topic, but mainly it's because, first of all, who do you blame in the situation? And second of all, when it comes to repercussions, they could be quite severe for either FaZe or especially that being H1ghSky, because he did lie. He has now directly broken Twitch terms of service.
Right.
So he could be. We know how radical Twitch bans can be.
Yeah, they can be like.
They can be, hey, oh, you're not wearing clothes? Yeah, we're not going to ban you for a day. Or it could be, oh, you said the wrong word, you're banned forever.
You sounded like you might have said something potentially offensive, so you're permanently gone. Goodbye.
If you guys have seen either Pokimane or TF Blade, both of which supposedly dropped the N-word, and then upon review, pretty clearly to a lot of people out there, had not said it.
Yeah.
But they both
really didn't seem like it.
Yeah, so that's what Xan was referring to. But when it comes to this case, it's just so shocking now because Tfue first brought it up, and now it's being brought back up by sources. I'm not a vulture. I cover esports news. If you watch the video, I try not to attack the kid. When we bounce back to that question of who is there to blame, I said 100% you would not blame the kid, right?
Yeah, it's not his fault whatsoever. Like, I guarantee you he has never read the terms of service on any site ever in his life. Yeah.
And especially when you think back, what were you... Dude, I think I peed... I don't know.
You don't want to get in that?
I think I probably peed the bed when I was 8 or 9 years old. He's 2 years older than that.
Yeah.
I don't remember much from that time of my life, but I know for sure I would have probably followed in the same footsteps as he did.
Yeah, right? Like, if you're given that kind of opportunity at that kind of age, like, who wouldn't just be like, oh, hey, yeah, I can play video games and make money off of it?
And all of your peers are like, yeah, you should do this.
Definitely.
Yes, you're going to make a lot of money.
Definitely.
Especially, and that's what it comes down to, I think, is the main two targets. Do you if allegations are true, I think it was Tfue saying both. Well, he says FaZe pressured the kid and the parents to lie about it. Right. Let's consider the fact that both his parents or FaZe Clan could have pressured H1ghSky.
Right.
Who do you blame more in that case?
Parents.
Parents?
Parents for sure. because
it's their job as guardians to look over that kind of stuff and realize, hey, you're breaking the law, son.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I feel like in their type of situation, the parents are in the type of position to just say, like, hey, our son is about to go working, because he would be working. He is working for FaZe, right? Let's have, like, a lawyer just take a look at this situation real quick and make sure. You know what? That's another thing with the whole TFU situation in general. People need to talk to lawyers more. I know it's expensive, yes, but you keep running into like all of these problems that would have been resolved with probably you probably wouldn't even have to sit through like a full hour-long consultation. You tweeted a lawyer, hey, maybe should I maybe not be doing this, and they'd be like, yeah. Especially
because all the cases we hear about where there's been bad contracts, there's been quite a lot of money involved, especially when these H1ghSky is going to be successful.
Right.
Whether this will blow past, likely, whether he gets punished on Twitch, there's a lot of money at stake, and his family should have known that. And so it does not take. That's why it's hard for me to believe that his parents did not know what they were doing was wrong.
Yeah, they had
FaZe
to
Clan
have.
too.
Yeah.
And so I'm worried if there will be repercussions for both H1ghSky as well as FaZe Clan. But I was just curious what your guys' take on is that as well. I'm trying my best not to be a vulture, but these kind of things, they're setting precedents for future kids as well.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
So I feel like I tried to cover in a fair light where we don't blame this kid. Anyone in his shoes would have made likely this decision.
No, yeah, definitely. It's he has opportunity of a lifetime.
Yep.
It's his parents' responsibility to say, like, maybe wait 2 years.
Yep, exactly. So
whatever.
We don't blame the kid. I don't know who you guys blame as well. We're going to see what punishment, though, does unfortunately come his or FaZe's way.
Yeah, hopefully he gets a pass, but who knows? Okay, this one will be relatively brief.
Heck yeah.
And it's not a bad story. So,
is this our first?
Happy news, kind of.
Third story in? Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's get happy.
Apex isn't dead.
Please tell me that's not your story.
It factors into it, right?
Okay.
Yeah, but anyway, have you seen how? The Face It Pro Series is they're doing their Apex Legends tournament over the next 8 weeks, I believe it is. And
this is actually your topic.
Yeah.
Man, I'm not gonna fight you. You keep on believing.
No. I don't have a lot of hope for Apex, but it is very aggressively on life support.
30 seconds ago, Apex is not dead. 30 seconds later, I don't really have a lot of hope for him, but I'm just trying to be happy here.
You got to have something to be positive about,
for
right?
sure.
Yeah. But anyway, I was more curious about, because I read when I was reading about the Face It tournament that they were running everything online, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, the first thing I think of when I hear about a tournament like that is how are people going to be cheating?
Yeah.
Right?
And that's also one of the first things you think about when anyone says Apex to you. They've been in the headlines for cheating quite a bit.
Yeah, they don't seem to have the best security in the game yet.
Think about that. Come on, guys.
But anyway, I was like, I just happened to also stumble across an article about the process of cheating in esports and how different leagues kind of combat that, right?
Yeah.
And then it wasn't like super in depth because obviously they're not going to say this is our methods, because then hackers will just look at that and be like, oh, we'll just
just negate all that you just said.
Yeah, right. But there's a couple really interesting aspects of it. Like for example, around a fourth of ESL's like entire tech budget goes just into anti-hacking measures.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah, wow, that's a lot of money.
Yeah, definitely.
But is ESL connected to Face It in this sense?
Oh, in this instance, no. Face It actually apparently has their own proprietary software.
I was going to say, because Face It's anti-cheat is historically, they're pretty good. I don't know how they compare to current. I would imagine better than what Apex has in place.
Yeah, it seems like it, at least, right? Because they seem confident that they can run this tournament without too much issue, like, people cheating.
Yeah.
Also, apparently, ESL has they take this so seriously. They have people who sit in like an air-gapped room, like completely separated from any IP address connecting into the ESL.
Why has it got to be air-gapped?
So that they're like completely cut off from anything that could potentially have to do with the ESL.
Okay, I thought they were like in quarantine.
Yeah. Oh no! They
take their most diseased employees, they air gap them, and they force them into this job to stop cheaters.
Yeah, because cheating is so toxic. They got to make sure
they come out of that room changed people.
Yeah, exactly, right.
I've seen.
So you've got to find people who are like on their deathbed, like, all right, you're gonna do some good for the industry before you die, because we know. But anyway,
sorry. Okay,
no, yeah.
Back to this air-gapped room. They got to be cut off from everybody.
Everybody, right? And they just go on forums and they kind of just like on hacking forums and stuff and try to find like good cheats and stuff. And
sick,
like, yeah,
dude.
I know, right? They got people like spying and stuff. Like, it makes sense.
Yo, that makes
like,
total sense.
Yeah, but I never would have thought like that was actually the move, right?
They're like undercover cheating spies.
They're undercover people on the forum.
Yo, ESL. Yeah. That is dope.
Yeah.
I imagine like being in the room, like what these guys, I imagine cool, but they probably look so nerdy.
No,
like,
I mean, it's probably just like our office, right? Everybody's just sitting around on their computer, like
they're
just
sweating.
chilling.
They're just like, oh, they smell. But I want to picture like really cool. That is sick, though.
Yeah, right.
Well, I guess if you get a fourth of your budget, then yeah, you get an air-gapped room with individuals.
Right.
That is
you
really,
take that stuff seriously, but like, wow.
That is actually really a whole underground organization.
Yeah, there's probably like a whole industry around just anti-hacking measures.
Yeah.
That's like wild.
All right, we'll keep mine brief because yours, wait, did you say your last one was going to be brief and it wasn't brief?
No. Well, I said like relatively brief.
I feel like sometimes you just give really cool stories and I'm just like, and I just can't like stop
talking.
talking.
I feel like we talk too much.
Yeah.
On a general level.
We're sorry.
Yeah.
That's why we have this though. You know, I don't. Anyway, real brief here.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you a little talk about NICKMERCS and Nadeshot.
Okay.
Have you heard anything about these guys this past week?
I've heard about the general situation. That's about it.
Let me break it down for you, Xan, okay?
I'm ready.
You mind if I do? Keep this brief and short?
Please do.
So it was NICKMERCS a couple days ago. At the point of you guys watching this, earlier this week, it was NICKMERCS taking a step back and leaving the 100 Thieves organization, which is owned by Nadeshot. And also the same day as well, we actually had Courage. You know who Courage is?
I mean, I didn't before he joined 100 Thieves.
Okay.
But, you know.
Okay, so he's also joined.
Right.
The big controversy, though, like somewhat of a controversy, again, trying to keep it brief here, is actually NICKMERCS came out with a video and pretty much summarized, had said that apparently Nadeshot had made him promises or told him how he's going to take care of him very early on.
Right.
NICKMERCS was there for quite some time, kind of building his own reputation, trying to build the 100 Thieves reputation.
Right.
But he has now left, saying he was not paid a single dime for his time there, and Nadeshot did not fulfill the things he had apparently talked to him about early on. And so to me, it was super interesting because now Nadeshot's also responded and said he's not going to comment about this. He's not going to. He doesn't want to go back and forth. You know. He wishes him all the best. And to me, it makes you curious. Like obviously, the things that were said early on were probably via like, hey, what's up, Xan? Dude, you and me together build an org. When we get big, man, like you and me, that's it. We're gonna be the owners.
Yeah, right. Like just hyping each other up, like that type of thing.
Exactly.
Yeah,
like heck yeah, man. Like we're buddies. Like heck yeah, you build your reputation, I build mine. Together we grow this brand, and I will take care of you. And so that's what it feels like. It feels like almost like bar talk.
Right.
Like I'm super curious, and I've made 2 videos about this already about what exactly was said because neither side is gonna come out in details.
Yeah,
about
of course
this.
not. They're both of them are too smart to do that.
Like it would just hurt both parties. You know, there's no benefit to come out and say Nadeshot promised me equity and he didn't follow through. Just does no one any good.
Right. Like I'm thinking whatever was promised must have been huge.
Yeah.
For it to come to this. And my only question is like I know they were friends, right? But
they were close enough in the industry. I don't think they come off as friends. But yeah.
Well, at this point, definitely not, right? But let's say they're close enough that a verbal promise like this was made, and NICKMERCS thought it would be followed through on, right?
Like if you made a verbal promise to me, probably the same level of friendship as them, or somewhat close, I would expect you to hold up to a promise you made to me in person.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and especially in a serious business situation. But then when I got
like our New Jersey that I'm working on, I'm kind of hype about.
Dude, Cummings, we got some things for you guys. Okay, we're taking off. Well, we're not taking off, but we're doing some things. But anyway, it makes me really think about the other side of things from Nadeshot's perspective. You look at the way the 100 Thieves blew up, right? NICKMERCS successful. He blew up as well.
Right.
But then you have to ask yourself, what did Nadeshot bring to the table for 100 Thieves compared to what NICKMERCS brought? And I think a lot of people out there, I can't say a majority, but I think a lot of people would agree what Nadeshot has brought is far more substantial in terms of partnership and sponsorship and just overall appeal of investors as well.
I would definitely agree. And Nadeshot he's the marquee name on 100 Thieves.
What he has done there is pretty astonishing in esports. He has brought in more money than I've seen a lot of organizations do. with some success tied to it as well. But with that being said, it begs the question, did they blow up so fast where he just couldn't, like, he took on too many investors, he took on too much money, where he could not keep those promises, right? Like, it's just not possible. Like,
you know, now that you mentioned that I could very easily see that happening, because, I mean, I just saw a video from them, like maybe like last week, where they were talking about their new Rocket Mortgage setup, right?
Yep.
And then today they're talking about their new Cash App house, right?
And then a couple weeks ago, it was Totino's house. Right?
Yeah, right?
He is remarkable in bringing in people. And so that's why I have to think that he kind of just took on a bit too much, and you can only keep so many promises.
Yeah, I can hear that. Yeah, especially as a business like this grows, like so exponentially. Like, you know, you got to imagine.
And obviously, when he was making those talks, he probably didn't foresee all this happening so fast.
Oh, definitely not. How could he?
Yeah. Right? So you kind of just, you put what you said to Nick on the back burner, and all of a sudden you got these partnerships right here for millions of dollars.
Yeah.
Things are going to take, those kind of things are going to take place. And so for me, kind of just wanted to open up that side of the story. There are definitely two sides to every story. I highly doubt we're going to get details from either person as to what was promised, but that's how I see it, as to exactly how that came down.
Yeah, that sounds probably, I would, if I had to place money on it, I'd say that's a good bet. So this is actually going to be like super brief, and I'm only talking about the article.
All right, we've said brief 3 times.
I mean, like, this one is going to be a super long article now. I'm going to go into each piece of the article, word by word. We're going to analyze the meaning of each word in this context.
Sit down, grab a drink.
Grab a dictionary too. You want to check us, because, you know, we could be wrong. Who knows?
We've probably been wrong a lot.
Oh, don't put that idea in their heads. But no. So I just saw an interesting article that didn't get a lot of attention, partially because the initial report itself was in Chinese. I don't
That'll
know.
do it.
Yeah, that will definitely, you know, lower interest then if people aren't reading.
Wait. So did you translate it, or are you just?
Oh no, this is from a
we don't know about.
Yeah, actually, I speak 5 different languages.
I
wish. Yeah. So this was from the 2019 China Esports Talent Development Report.
Okay, that's why they're not recognized. You have a longer name for a title. Jeez.
It is put out by Tencent though.
Oh,
so people should be listening. Tencent,
I hope everyone watching is bowing right now.
The god king of esports, Tencent.
Did you say Tencent? Sorry. I'm just going to stay like this the rest of the episode.
Tencent, if you're listening, we have nothing but good thing to say about you. Don't,
because they're probably listening somewhere in this room.
They hear everything.
That's a whole other video. Is Tencent.
Honestly, yeah. But anyway, they surveyed over 3,700 people who work in esports in China. All this data is strictly from China, by the way.
Okay.
And so 60% of these people are making in the like $14,000 a year range, $14,500 in USD.
Not very good.
Not great, but apparently on par with most white collar workers in China.
Okay.
So, you know, that's good, right?
Yeah,
yeah. I mean, it's good. It's good that they're on par at least. You know, it's not great for the money concern, but you know, if they're doing okay, they're doing okay.
Yeah,
and apparently 90% of these people are satisfied with their job. Like 90% of them are happy. Even if they're like, you know, even if they're just chilling.
They forced into saying that?
No, because it's all anonymous as far as I know. But I mean, to be fair, it is China, so who knows?
And it was did you say it was run by Tencent?
Yeah, run by.
They had a hand in it.
Yeah, I mean,
Xan?
Yeah,
I'm breaking this apart.
It was run by Tencent and this other company, SuperGen EDU.
All of a sudden, it's not too shocking. You have King Kong in the room with you. He's the one like maybe paying you, and he's saying, "How happy are you?"
I got the impression that all the information went through like this other entity, SuperGen.
Some sort of anonymous. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Then, so as long as it's Tencent, truly anonymous.
Yeah. Like the people weren't like, it wasn't like you're like, I don't know, like big boy Tencent is behind you over the shoulder, like
just hand on the shoulder, just
just I know you like it here, right? No, but apparently out of all those people, only a fourth of them had any kind of education related to esports whatsoever.
And what's their? Did it say like were they all in like a specific field, or were they in the esports industry?
This is just esports industry overall.
So very generic esports industry. 3,700 people, 90% of which say they're happy, and only a fourth of which say they only have an education or background in esports.
Right, and a fourth of that says they felt that their time in education related to esports.
Is that an eighth? Is that an eighth? Or is that a 16th?
I said a fourth of that fourth very specifically just so we didn't have to.
Because we don't know. So a smaller portion of that smaller portion? What did they say?
A quarter of that fourth.
25% of that fourth.
Yeah. Anyway, they were saying that they only a quarter felt that their time in education was at all relevant to anything they did in
every
their job.
time you bring stories to the table, you open a whole bag can of worms, man.
You almost said it.
Yeah, I said bag can. You can Google that. No, don't Google
don't do that. Don't.
Because like your stories start here, and then it goes into a topic where I'm super curious about because, like, I can relate.
Yeah, right.
I went to college for business, marketing, and management. I had a YouTube channel throughout college, which helped me get this job, and therefore I would agree with a fourth of that that said their education did not have an impact on their daily job in esports.
Which I think it's nice to hear, because I think that's, especially for the people watching, it's like it's good to hear that, you always have a chance to work your way into the industry if you really want to be a part of it.
That's a really good point, because I've had so many people DM me or just talk about this in the comments and say, I want to work in esports. What do I do? Right. And my first response is either, try and find an esports, because some colleges offer that kind of thing. Right. My second response is something in business, because that is always,
that works everywhere.
And I think, again, something that you're also involved in a little bit as well is graphic design. That kind of thing is always going to be relevant in the esports industry. People will always need logos and graphics made.
Yeah, right. I feel like this is going to be a very blanket statement, but I feel like everybody should learn how to use Premiere and Photoshop.
I knew you were going to say that. Yeah. I don't know how to use Photoshop. Sorry.
You'd probably pick it up in a second because you know Premiere.
Yeah.
Like if you actually needed to, you would learn it. Super easily, right?
But that's really reassuring for you to bring that up, because yes, you have those three. You can get into an esports somewhat of college or a degree. Right. Business of some sort as well, marketing and management, whatever it might be, and then also graphic design. You have three there. But it's nice to know you don't need those to be in esports.
Right. Definitely not.
As long as you have background knowledge. I mean, even if they're saying you don't need I would advise some sort of background.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good idea to have some kind of background info, for sure.
Didn't you say this one was going to be brief?
I mean,
we should just stop saying that forever.
The actual details were pretty brief. We only really talked about three.
I can't help but talk long about these kind of things.
I mean, that's fine. I'm cool with that. I think they're cool with it too. Chances are. Let us know if you're cool with us rambling.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Let us know. But very lastly, kind of ironic, the fact that all these Chinese people in the esports industry are so happy. Then why are they all cheating in the game? Is the real question. That's another topic we can get into some other time. I just wanted to throw that out there. I'm not going to say the word. I'll keep this short. This will be an update on the OpTic situation. For the third week in a row, we have OpTic updates. This is going to be we are close. I guarantee you we're close.
Around the corner.
We really should be. I don't know if you heard about a little bit of the news. I told you about the promissory note, the $20 million in debt that have now come out about Infinite owing that $20 million debt to be paid by the 31st, which should be the day this podcast does come out. So we apologize if other updates did come out and we do not know them quite yet. It seems pretty imminent now that OpTic will indeed be sold. But why I'm bringing this up is actually because talk of the town from other sources throughout this have now been updates on previous stories where we came out and said that there was a possibility of Infinite denying Hector and his partner's bid because of a vendetta and actually taking Immortal's bid. That's been cleared up by some sources out there now saying that it was just in fact that Hector and his partner cannot put up near enough capital as compared to Immortals.
Well, yeah. I always...
Which also makes sense.
I would have been shocked if... I would have been happy, but shocked if they had come even close to whatever Immortal's bid was.
Yeah, when you really think about logistics-wise, it does make a lot of sense. But why this did start as well, and I kind of expanded on this, it also makes sense why people thought there was a vendetta, because get this. Let me try and throw this out there correctly.
All right.
Correct me if I'm wrong. One of the original founding members of OpTic, his name is OpTic.
Okay.
He was formerly as well the COO of OpTic.
Yep, I'm familiar with Jay.
Yep, and so you have Hector as well. They're buddies for about 12 years inside of OpTic.
Right, long friendship.
Hector comes in as well. Of course, he plays a huge role in OpTic. That is his baby. Eventually sells off his ownership to Infinite Esports, majority share. Now, though, OpTic is the president of Infinite Esports or Infinite Entertainment. And so people think because he's the president, he could have had some authoritative say in denying Hector's bid. You see where the correlation of theories?
I could see that. Yeah.
This is OpTic J.
We bought like the cork board with the with the red dots. Like,
yep, it's OpTic J.
We've cracked the case.
If we can get rid of J, we could save. It's just so it does make a lot of sense. And then you have Hector coming out in his podcast, the most recent one as well.
The one with Hitch.
Yeah,
I actually listened to that whole thing. That was a
lot of insight. If you guys have not seen it, pretty much clarifying that he's not friends with Jay anymore.
Right.
So that kind of adds to the theory. I really do highly doubt, though, which kind of depends what you guys want to believe. I highly doubt, though, that Jay has the single sole hand and authority to deny a bid.
Yeah, probably not.
And especially when it comes to your best interest, I could not technically blame Jay right now if a partner, like even if it was Hector, your old friend and the founder of one of the original big names of OpTic Gaming, business-wise, you're not going to take on a bid that you don't feel the faith in when there's Immortals right here who are potentially offering so much more. And so it's hard to blame him, but apparently
Immortals, like their hand is out with the money. They know they want,
like they are paying your debt and paying so much more. So it's hard to really take sides here. But kind of just want to elaborate on that. Just a crazy theory, which makes sense, but there's so many more side stories that we will never even know the full details on.
Yeah, honestly, after listening to that podcast with Hex and Hitch, listening to them talk about their work environment being a part of Infinite really just makes it sound like Infinite doesn't know anything about esports and they just want OpTic gone.
I think they want gone. They want Infinite wants out of esports, which at this point, after hearing that, I'm okay with. Because they clearly have no idea.
They shouldn't be in esports.
Unfortunate as it is, I think it's pretty imminent that OpTic will be gone, and it's so sad to say. And next time we see you guys, it probably will be final. But even with that being said, we know at the very least Immortals or OpTic would run a better team and organization than Infinite could.
Yeah, hopefully we see OpTic preserved in some way, shape, or form.
I'm not hopeful, but I hope so.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have any faith in that either. But I think OpTic probably has one of the strongest connections to their community of any esports organization out there. And this is a blow that's going to hurt like a lot of people significantly. So
next time we see you guys, OpTic will either be staying alive or they will be dead.
Yeah, shout out to the Green Wall. Let's hit it. Video game disorder.
Okay, jeez. Oh, yes, dude. Oh, you...
The hypest news in esports now.
I would be so mad at you, but I totally forgot to make this one of my topics. So good on you.
Hey. See, I mean, this isn't even from an article. This is just from a Twitter thread from a doctor that I thought was like super good to see because I hated every article I saw on video game disorder like at all. Right? All of them were like super alarmist, super like. Your mom's gonna come into your room and take your PS4 away.
Because you're an addict.
You play Apex Legends after school. You're an addict. Get help. Right? Yeah. Like tons of just hyperbole around the situation. And this guy was just being super reasonable and clarifying a lot of things about the actual determination from the World Health Organization.
Okay.
Basically, first of all, first thing that gave me confidence is that it wasn't just like the WHO like by themselves just saying like, oh yeah, video game disorder is a thing.
Yeah, and to give them clarification as well, it was passed. I think they're going to call it a video game addiction as a disorder. Or how would you classify that? And it's not going to be until 2021, right?
Yeah, I think the term they're going with right now is video game addiction.
Yeah, will be officially a possible diagnosis, I want to say.
Yeah,
by 2021.
Yeah, kind of.
So it's
and that's another thing that this guy was talking about actually, because I was wondering, like, I don't read a lot of stuff from the WHO, right? I'm not really on
World Health Organization. I knew that. Sorry, I just wanted to
yeah. But anyway, so this guy was like, a large part of the reasoning behind classifications like this and why they're necessary is specifically for actually helping defray like therapy costs.
Oh, okay.
Because people cannot get actual help and get insurance to help them out with it or anything along those lines if there is no classification for it.
Oh.
If somebody does have an actual issue and it's not like actually depression and it's not actually like some other kind of like general mood problem, right? Then and they can't really go get help for that without this classification, right? Even though it is a really broad like statement to just call it like a video game addiction.
Yeah, for sure,
right?
definitely.
Like this guy was also saying, like, just to be clear, yeah, an average person who plays League several hours a day or whatever, or Counter-Strike or anything, and say they just go home or they stream and play games for 12 hours a day, but they're still paying their rent, they're still hanging out with friends and family.
Yeah.
You know, you can play video games a lot and still be fine.
Yeah.
You know, it's only when it becomes a thing where you're shirking all of your responsibilities, where, like, you know, like you're gaining a ton of weight, your girlfriend broke up with you, and you're ignoring that.
We don't need to bring that up, Xan, okay?
Yeah, you know, it takes a certain level. He was even talking about, like, this being, in his mind, a trend that it would have to continue for like a year to actually classify it as, like, you know, you have a video game disorder, right?
Yeah.
But, you know, that was just really refreshing for me to see, like,
because most of the things I saw about it were making fun of it.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
It's nice to see that there actually are reasons, positive reasons of why this is going on.
Yeah, and they're taking it seriously, and they're not, like, you know, just throwing it out there like video games are evil.
Because I would definitely not deny, there are definitely people who are addicted to it, so it's nice to see some sort of, even if this actually offers some more legitimacy to the fact that, you know, video games, yes, you can. There are definitely downsides to it, but it also offers more legitimacy in the fact that there are disorders or disease, whatever you want to call it, around this, because it's just like you can be addicted to anything, and video games is definitely one of them. So it's nice to see some action taken in a positive direction.
Yeah, definitely.
For people who are truly suffering. The
more education on the subject that is available to people, the better.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Even for all of us who don't even think we're addicted, it'd be nice to see more expansion on exactly what they classify as exact addictions or problems with video games.
Yeah, I'd like to see, like, after this classification, maybe they'll do additional research into it. Like, I could see that being easier.
Yeah,
just because it's like an actual thing then.
Yeah. Okay, Xan, you ready for the last story?
Let's get it.
Well, almost the last story.
Well, we can't forget about Randy.
Yeah, no, we're not forgetting about Randy. That'll be next.
Our boy.
This man. Ooh, favorite segment, but that'll be in a couple minutes.
Yeah.
This one's actually a very quick one about Riot now implementing a new pay-to-watch feature for LCS and LEC. That's two of their probably their biggest viewership leagues.
Right.
They have a summer split and a spring split. MSI Worlds, you know the gist of it.
Yeah.
They are now offering a pro view where you can pay for each split. I think it's about $15 for each summer and spring split,
which is reasonable. In my opinion.
It's not too bad. Consider it's like $5 a month if you break it down.
Right.
So it's about 3 months long for each split, and with that, you actually get a whole new functionality, and you also get to watch your favorite players from their perspective.
Right.
And I thought, this is wicked. This is really cool. I'm really glad the price was not, totally upscale, outlandish. I know there are probably people worried about this. I can't see any initial complaints about how this could hurt viewership, because it's an additional option for hardcore fans to get more out of the game if they want to support, which is also great because part of the fee goes to the players.
Yeah, right. Like I really like the fact that they threw that in there, that the money is going directly to either LCS or LEC teams.
Yeah. And because Overwatch League, they do the bits where you donate bits and it goes to the team directly.
Right.
So that's really cool. I love player support.
Yeah.
I just hope they can make it almost worth the money.
Right. Yeah.
And then I also say that, and I also in the back of my mind I think, what if every esport does it? Is it going to be too much if every esport starts offering pay to watch subscriptions?
That's a really good question, actually. I don't think every esport is in a position where a pay to watch subscription would even make any sense, right?
Yeah.
Like for something like a MOBA like League, where there's so much going on, and it's also granular in like very specific ways. Like having that extra feed would be like, actually, I could see value in that as like, as a fan, but. Like definitely for something like fighting games.
I was just gonna say FGC.
Who cares?
Yeah, it's probably not gonna work out.
No, yeah. I mean, if anything, like maybe we'd get like, it'd be kind of sick actually if we get like button notations on the side of the screen so we could see how so we could see how they're doing their combos and stuff. That'd be sick, right? But I mean, realistically speaking, nobody would pay for that because if you play the game, you can figure it out if you just spend 30 seconds. Like
and I've had people from CS:GO already point out that CS:GO has an in-game client where you can actually without comment, you won't get commentary. I think for some events you maybe can hear it. You can still watch from player perspectives though.
Right.
So it depends on the game, of course, but certainly for League of Legends, it's going to be, in my opinion, a really cool feature.
Right.
And I'm super curious how it does play out. And I just hope that there's not too much of an, I would say maybe, I don't want to say overcompensation, but too many other esports trying to do the same exact thing.
I get you. Like if they see like this is super successful, like, everybody else could be like,
make a lot of money.
Yeah.
Because obviously it is a bit of a cash grab. They saw a market for it though.
Right. Yeah.
I'm just really concerned about if we lead in any direction where all of a sudden it becomes all these events are pay to watch. You know, that's obviously just like way worst case scenario.
Yeah, it's down the line, but knowing how like I feel like esports as an industry is very reactionary anyway.
They shut that down right away.
Yeah, one person is like, they see one person doing something cool and they're like, oh, that should be what everybody does.
Yeah, I mean, but for now, totally, I think a wicked option. I can't wait to see how it plays out.
Yeah.
You can still watch for free, heck yeah, or you can pay for and get more out of it.
Or if you want to be on ESPN for whatever reason.
Or if you still want to use ESPN Plus, I guess you could subscribe.
If you want to pay for that and, I don't know, get less.
We're not going to get into that. So is it time for Randy
Yo,
Boy?
Randy Watch continues.
Yo, hit it with the segment,
We back.
Pete. Let's go.
Randy's back.
Segment. Is this number 4?
Yeah, I think we got it every week.
Oh my gosh.
Yo,
if you guys don't know our boy Randy, you're about to know more about
Randy
him.
Pitchford, the one, the only.
Hit me with what he's done this week, because before you do it, has he gone up some rungs on the ladder, or has he gone back down?
I don't know. This was so weird.
All right, that's the best.
It's the type of thing where you see it, right? I just sent you, I think right before we came in here, actually, I sent you an article about how fossil fuels are being renamed to be freedom gas. And like I just told you, I had to look at that article and make sure I hadn't like subscribed to the Onion on my RSS feed or something, because it sounds so ridiculous, right?
Yeah.
This was that for Pitchford.
Oh no.
Right? So, Jake, if there's one thing you don't want to do on the internet, what would you say that should be? Because I have one very specific thing.
Okay, this.
And it's just like.
Do I say where my mind first went to? I don't know if I'm allowed to say it.
Go for it, and Randy's probably done it.
Okay, so maybe we'll ask them too. If you guys are somehow still watching, you got to answer this question.
Yeah.
If there's one thing you would never do on the internet.
Yeah, you would never want anybody to see that. You never want to put it out publicly anywhere. Drop that in the comments. I'm curious.
Oh my gosh, my first instance had to. Dude, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this. So bleep bleep Pete if I get too far. My first thing is doing the dirty on webcam or something. You know, live streamers been caught doing it.
You know
what I'm saying?
Thankfully not that. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
But it's not that?
Thankfully not that. I mean, he got kind of close with his flash drive a few months ago. But.
Oh yeah, true. Anyway, so what is this about then? So you're saying this is the one thing you shouldn't be doing online?
Yeah, I think this is the one thing that people are like on a general level. Everybody's gonna be like, "What are you doing? Stop!"
You got my mind whirling. You gotta tell me.
So I'm gonna try to get this out as clearly and as straight faced as possible, because it's so ridiculous. I don't know if I can. So I'm sorry in advance.
No, come on.
Okay, so Randy retweets an animal video.
Oh no! Is it? Oh no!
A cat and a crab, like a cat just in like essentially like a death arena with a crab put there for the purpose of them, like, you know, obviously a crab and a cat are not going to be friends.
Yeah,
crabs are like, you know, it's like a cat snuff video. It's like basically.
It's like a. Wait, what? So like they're fighting, right? They're fighting, right?
Yeah.
So it's like dog fights, but like
but with a cat.
Like is this
crab?
Like a full size crab?
I didn't watch the video. I just saw a screenshot because I don't know if I want to watch.
You didn't watch? You're gonna talk about Randy and not watch for context? This could have been a playful video. They could have been. It was friends.
Not. I saw enough screenshots to know.
Maybe we'll show you. Hopefully, we showed you guys a few. So it was like a full-grown crab.
It was a crab. It was I don't know.
With pincers?
With pincers, sharp claws.
Fighting a cat?
You know, little known fact: crabs very pointy claws, and cats very soft bodies.
Yeah.
Like,
wait, this just when I first saw it, I was like, I am so sorry. When you first said this, I thought of, you know the crabs like you would bring home when you were a kid, like they're little tiny crabs.
Oh yeah.
That's
Like
what I thought.
Yeah, like a little like. Yeah, no.
So I just pictured a cute little cat. You just hitting around a crab.
No, like a
crab,
like a crab
cat.
Yeah,
dude. I find it hard to feel bad for crabs, so I'm gonna feel bad for the cat.
I mean,
you know what happens?
In this circumstance, you definitely feel bad for the cat. I have heard different things, and they're bad enough to the point where I did not want to watch the video and confirm. That's how bad the things I've heard about it are.
Like, is this not photoshopped? He confirmed actually retweeted it. I'm sure he unretweeted it.
Obviously, he deleted the tweet, and then he tweeted again afterwards, right? With the cover-up tweet was just like, he was like, yeah, you know, obviously this isn't a great situation.
Dude, that is the most Randy response.
Like,
obviously, I fricked up.
But he was like, yeah, there's a lot of negative things to take. I'm paraphrasing here, right?
You're crying, dude.
I'm laughing so.
This isn't even trial by fire.
He was like, Jesus. He was like, there's a lot of negative things going on here, obviously.
Come on.
But I had a lot of thoughts about this video.
I'm so sorry. That was probably so loud.
And he's like, not all of them were negative. So I was curious to see how other people would react.
Not all. Oh my God, Randy. That is literally such a Randy response. I had a lot of thoughts about the video. Not all were negative. Frick, Randy. Gosh,
yeah,
dude.
I have a screen cap of the tweet. I'll get it in the description or on screen or something. But God, like, it is just it's the most Randy Pitchford interaction I've ever seen.
I don't even know what to say anymore. I'm drained.
Yeah, right? Like, how do you even talk about that?
Gosh, dude, he is such a goon. Oh my goodness.
It is so bad. Like, think about that, right? All you needed in John Wick was just to see. I don't think you even see the dog die.
No,
right?
No.
You just know this is a bad person who hurt an animal.
Yeah.
And everybody's they're cool with it because the entire movie is then John
going. I can't take you seriously when you got tear stains from laughter.
I don't know if you can take Randy seriously, to be honest.
Okay, let's come back next week for more Randy segments because they're always my favorite.
The wild part is this is like, how many weeks have we actually had Randy stuff to talk about? Who else do you know that every single week you can think, I'm probably going to hear some nonsense about Randy
There's
this
not
week.
a more controversial person right now, and there's not a person I'd rather talk about besides Randy.
He's fascinating.
So come back for episode 5, and we will have updates on Randy and if he's in jail or not. As always, we've had some crazy stories this week. We've been pretty lucky to have some insane stories, both the website as well as the YouTube channel, and we cannot thank you guys enough because as of us talking about this, Xan, we need to keep on having like podcasts where we have like a kind of at the beginning we talk about like an achievement.
Yeah.
So hopefully, let's cross our fingers. By the next time we see you guys for episode number 5, we could be breaking 30,000 subscribers, man.
Oh yeah, honestly, we are. We're right there. We're right there at it. We're at the precipice.
Like we cannot thank you guys enough for that. And as always, we hope you guys all enjoy this episode of the Esports Rewind podcast. Your number one source. I'm not even gonna turn live.
Your number one source in esports news.
For something.
Yeah. Who knows? Your number one source on Randy Pitchford updates.
Dude, that is it. Your number one source for Randy Pitchford news, and alongside that, maybe some esports stuff. But again, thank you all for watching. We'll see you back here next week at the same time, same place for episode number 5. Until then, take care of yourselves, and we'll see you then.